Hey all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Avengers Infinity War Rocket and Groot figure 2-pack, which is part of their new basic line of Hero Vision figures. Now all the figures in this line come packaged in a similar style. You've got the card back up at the top, you've got the Avengers Infinity War movie logo, and then you've got some artwork for Thanos. The figures are then clearly displayed. On the front there, you've got some information about the Hero Vision game, which is essentially a virtual reality type game. You put on this Iron Man helmet and it's supposed to immerse you in the game. I haven't actually played the game, so I can't really speak to that, but these figures do tie into that. And then down below, you've got the names of the characters and that Avengers logo. On the back of the packaging, you have looks at the actual figure. Again, you have the Avengers Infinity War movie logo and the names of the characters. You have a look at a couple other figures. You have a look at a couple of the other figures in this line, including Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. And in fact, they're actually doing a whole bunch of figures for this line, including the likes of Hulkbuster and Iron Spider-Man that actually has the arms on his back, unlike the Marvel Legend version. And then down below that, you've got a brief bio again about the Hero Vision game and how the Infinity Stones that are included with these figures interact with the game. All right, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now I should note that this set is actually considered a deluxe one and does cost a little bit more than the other figures, I guess because it has 2 figures in it. So this one's going to cost you between $12 and $13, whereas the normal single carded figures in this line cost about $10. Now with this set, you get 2 accessories. You get this Infinity Gem, and all the figures in the line come with one of these in their various colors. This one is purple. I assume they're repeats since there's more figures being released in the line than there are Infinity Gems, but I don't know that 100%. But again, this one does come with a purple gem, and the gem itself is done with a translucent purple plastic, and you've got this sticker, which I think is what actually interacts with the Hero Vision game, and then you've got this gold base with a hole in the bottom. And how this works as far as the figure goes is you just plug this into the top of Rocket's rifle, which is the other accessory included in this set. And then again, I think this sticker is supposed to act as some kind of power-up in the video game. This is how it interacts. I haven't actually played the game, as I mentioned before, so I can't really speak too much to that, but that's at least based on the card back how it actually works. Now the rifle, this is very similar to what we've seen with other Rocket figures that Hasbro's done for like their Marvel Legend line and such. It's done with just a gray plastic, pretty nice sculpting detail. The way Rocket has to hold this rifle though is with this handle here in the back, so it's not held like a normal gun, and he can only hold it in the right hand since the left hand is sculpted open. Basically you just kind of put it in there like that. You've got this, you can basically, and this is technically upside down, but I think it actually looks better this way if you have him hold it like this. You can have him hold it like this, and I guess this is technically the correct way because this little peg for the Infinity Gem is actually supposed to be on the top. But if you have him hold it like that, then you just kind of have to set it like that. So I don't know, he doesn't hold it very well, honestly, but you know, you have to just kind of play with it. But it's kind of weird how they made the handle on the back here as opposed to giving it just like a normal pistol type handle. Now for the figures themselves, as I mentioned at the beginning, these are really geared more towards the younger kids. They generally have basic paint applications, basic articulation. They're not as detailed as a Marvel Legend figure. Now technically Hasbro calls these figures in this line 6-inch, but generally I've found they stand more between 5 and 6-inch, and generally they are shorter than most Marvel Legends. However, in this particular case with like the Rocket figure here, you can see here a comparison with the Marvel Legend version. This is from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 set, and you can see that this basic Rocket is actually taller. However, he does have less paint detail and he does have less articulation. He doesn't have any kind of knee joints or ankle joints, and with the arms, basically he has no elbow joints or wrist joints, just at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out, and he's got rotation. You can do the legs forward and back, and you can turn the head, and you can pivot the head a little bit and do it up and down a little bit. And then with the tail on this one, you have some movement. You can rotate the tail. It's not attached with the ball joint though, It just kind of plugs into his butt back there with a peg. So you do get a little bit of movement, but again, it's not as nice as the Marvel Legend version, even though it is technically taller. Now it's the Groot figure that I think is going to have the most appeal from a collector standpoint. I think this will actually fit in pretty good with your Marvel Legends. However, if you were following the news on Marvelous News this morning, you did hear that we are officially going to get a Marvel Legend version of Groot in his teenage years. It will be included in an upcoming Toys R Us exclusive 3-pack, along with another Rocket figure and a Thor figure with the eye patch. However, that won't be out until June, so I do think this will make a nice stand-in. You know, it's not terribly expensive. The overall detailing, I actually like this head sculpt. I think they've done a really nice job with the head sculpt. I like how the eyes are painted on it. You've got all the sculpting work throughout the body, so it looks like actual wood. I like how they've done the top of the head. Even on the very top, you've got some nice sculpting detail there, so pretty good. And then you've got some, it's mostly done with just this brown plastic, but you do have some darker wash like up here on his chest, down here at his waist. And then you have this green, this almost neon type green painted on his arms and on the side of his head. I guess that's supposed to be his leaves or something along those lines. But again, overall, even though not maybe quite as detailed as the Marvel Legend versions of Groot that we've seen, I think they've done a pretty fair job with this one. Now the articulation is pretty basic on this figure, especially from the waist down. You can turn the head to the left and to the right, and it can actually look down decently and up, and can pivot to the left and the right there. With the arms, you can get the arm out. He's got good rotation there at the shoulder. He does have an elbow joint. It's a single hinge joint, but he can bend his elbow some. No wrist articulation at all, no midsection articulation. And then with the legs, you can get the leg forward good, but you really can't do the leg back very much. And then there's no knee articulation and no ankle articulation. Now these figures stand, the Groot figure stands just a little bit under 6 inches tall, and then the Rocket figure stands about 3.5 inches tall. And I already showed you a comparison of the Rocket with the Marvel Legend version, and here's a comparison of the Groot Build-A-Figure, the adult Groot, and then also the baby Groot. So you can see the scale between these three is actually not too bad. Okay, and then finally here's a comparison of the Groot, Teenage Groot figure along with the Marvel Legend Thor Ragnarok figure from the Target 2-pack, and then again that Marvel Legend Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Rocket Raccoon figure. And I do think the scale between these three is actually pretty good. Now one thing I want to note while I've got the Thor figure here that I forgot to talk about in my news video earlier today when I was talking about the Toys R Us 3-pack with the Groot, Thor, and Rocket figures, I am hoping that that Thor figure with the eye patch, you can actually take that head sculpt and fit it on this Thor figure so that we can actually get a more accurate looking Thor Ragnarok figure. Okay, so that's my review. So speaking purely from a collector standpoint, I can't really say the Rocket figure does much for me. It's definitely not an improvement over the Marvel Legend version. It's not a bad figure, especially as a basic figure, but again, the Marvel Legend version is definitely nicer, and this one doesn't really add anything to that. However, the Groot figure I think might be worth checking out if you want a stand-in for your teenage Groot. Now, technically, we are getting an official Marvel Legend version in June, but if you want to stand in, like I said, that doesn't cost too much, you might want to check this one out. Now this set, along with the rest of the Avengers Infinity War products, will officially be released this coming Saturday on March 3rd. Some stores have already started to put the stuff out, but again, you should not have any problems finding this stuff starting on Saturday. And it will be available at all major retailers. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'm getting real close to 40,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate the help. You can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.